Hi, everyone. Well, we've all made it to the afternoon of the first day, and my name is Shana Derman. I'm the CEO of IntelliCred, and I just wanted to share some highlights that I have taken from today. The various speakers, I mean, Matthias, how am I supposed to follow that? It's just like unbelievable. I just want to stand here and talk about his presentation all day. But basically, the theme that I've taken from this is that the speakers are all really passionate about what they do and to share their stories, which is really amazing because we all always can learn from that. And the atmosphere, I mean, at one stage I wasn't sure if there was someone being auctioned, there was an auction happening, there's a party happening, but the environment has been made to feel very open to connecting, sharing, and just discussing. So I've really enjoyed the environment and speaking to various exhibitors and various speakers, so thank you for that. And in the PURCO team, you know, I have had lots of technical challenges, and they've been there every way to help me. So I just wanted to say to the PURCO team, thank you so much for being so helpful and for running a very good show. And I just wanted to talk about the line that is stuck with me, and it's one of Matthias' lines. He said, do better by using less. That is a very key component to not only what I'm going to be talking about today, but generally in the supply chain, in sustainability, in everything we do. So thank you for that. And also thank you for George Clooney's voice in your presentation. That was amazing. Okay, let's go. So I've discussed the highlights, the speakers, the party scene. I've thanked PURCO. But I'm really here today because I want to talk about this whole new technology on blockchain and how I got involved in this area. So from my point of view, IntelliCred has always been about protecting company brands against brand abuse. We're very much against counterfeiting of any kind, and we enjoy protecting clients' revenues and to guarantee that if you see a logo on somebody's website, you know that it's there, guaranteed and placed by us. But what we found over the years is that even though we were doing everything online, is that we needed to integrate into the supply chain, because at the end of the day, when you're buying those Gucci sunglasses, we can protect the online bit, but we still needed to integrate with the actual supply chain to be effective. And as we started learning about blockchain, we thought, oh, you know, we're not a cryptocurrency, so why should we deal with blockchain, and what is it anyway? But one day, as I was busy doing some solution design around our innovation and looking at our business objectives, which is always to be secure, to protect our clients' information, I had a light bulb moment that there was a perfect fit between what blockchain technology was and what we needed to achieve as a business. So what I want to show you is just a quick 60-second video on a very simplified explanation of blockchain. I'll just skip through that. I'm going to come back to that. Oh, sorry, did I just go past it? Yeah. Is it going to play?
Blockchain is not the name of the latest trending rap collective to emerge from New York. Blockchain appeared in 2008 with Bitcoin and is a transparent, secure data transfer and storage technology that operates without any central control structure. Okay, great. But what does this really mean? To keep things simple, it's a bit like if Paul wanted to transfer some money to Alexei, but for this transaction to be carried out with a blockchain, it would need to be secured by Anne, Gabriel, Orlan, Johan, and a million other people. Technically, it is their computer that validates the transaction by solving algorithmic problems. After being validated, they are grouped together in blocks that form chains, hence the name blockchain, and kept public. So it is impossible for Hackman 3000 to hack the transaction, because he would need to hack the computers of Anne, Gabriel, Orlan, Johan, and a million other people. Basically, a blockchain is like a vast public register that is anonymous and tamper-proof, which may therefore be of interest for banking, insurance, real estate, healthcare, energy, transport, online voting, notaries, social media, ride-sharing.
Okay, let me just go back a bit. Okay, so blockchain has been called by Goldman Sachs as the technology of trust. And what I've been involved with for 22 years is building applications, but really IntelliCred is all about ensuring that when you see a brand, you trust what you see. And so integrating blockchain technology into our technology was just a logical progression. It also allows you to get rid of some intermediaries and also have transparency, which is what you need in business. So what was my journey? In 2004, I started my first software development company, and I've always been building applications. And I don't know if any of you will remember, but sometimes you had a big desktop computer with a screen, separate screen, and a tower, and it was very heavy. And if you had an application, it would be in that spot. And over the years, as companies discovered the internet and they were moving their websites online, it was just really very easy to say whatever you wanted. So you could say that you have a patent and you could say that you're a Microsoft partner, but you weren't really. And so in 2010, I founded InfoInteg, which is information integrity, and that was that we could verify information on your website so that if a client would come to your website, they would trust that they can do business with you. But as the years started progressing, brands started having problems with their logos. I mean, even in my presentation today, I've copied the PURCO, sorry PURCO, copied their logo for use in my presentation, and I didn't ask them for it because I'm a speaker and I just assumed. But a lot of people do that, taking away credible business from those that are paying to use the logo. And so we had a pivot. We renamed our company. We started trading as IntelliCred, Intelligent Credibility, and we started building technology around brand protection, identity protection, etc. And this is where blockchain technology started really appealing to us. If we look at blockchain technology and digital currencies, it's all the hype. People are throwing Bitcoin, Ethereum, cryptocurrencies around, but really, what is it? Blockchain was originally the technology that underpinned your Bitcoin. It was, in the background. Whereas, and I'll come back to this, whereas a cryptocurrency is really a version of exchange. But simplified, as we saw in the video, when you want to send a transaction to a person, there would be a transaction created, it would be distributed to the network, they would verify it, and if there weren't any objections, the transaction would be confirmed. So that is really just a simplified version of blockchain. Sorry, let's go past that. So in my opinion, blockchain is not the hype. It is part of our future going forward, and it is very key because there are very well documented use cases for certain industries. Pharmaceutical, supply chain, banking, three very big industries. So I say, no, it's not the hype, and yes, it is important. So the question I was posed as today, why is blockchain helpful for the supply chain environment? And the question really posed a few questions to me. What are the biggest challenges within the supply chain cycle? Globalization, because as we start trading, you have borders and boundaries and control. Changing markets, you have issue of transparencies. Different countries have different rules and regulations. And then, of course, quality and compliancy, which in my world ties directly into the whole anti-counterfeiting, reduction of fraud online, etc. And so in came blockchain like a knight in shining armor, saying we can do this in a very distributed manner, and no one person would be controlling it, which means it was free and fair for all. This is just a presentation on supply chain and blockchain.
As the Internet of Things continues to grow at a rapid rate, sensors and devices are becoming more commonplace to communicate information. In business networks, where data such as location, temperature, and other properties needs to be shared, a private blockchain ledger can help create a tamper resistance record. This opens up new ways of automating business processes among partners without setting up a costly centralized IT infrastructure, and all participants have access to the same data. Let's look at how supply chain benefit when data is shared through SE sensors and permissioned blockchain. The IoT-enabled package transmits required status information as it passes through multiple carriers. The business contract specifies the conditions that must be met during the shipment from the factory to the grocery store, and all parties must adhere to the terms of the contract. A temperature sensor embedded in the package stores the data locally and sends it to Comar IoT blockchain platform and cloud. Information is shared across all peers. In this example, both Carrier 1 and Carrier 2 met the contractual obligations, and the shipment arrived at its final destination without exposure to excess temperatures. Using blockchain allowed all business partners to access the same temperature data without requiring central control. The result? A happy customer with peace of mind about food in his or her cart. With blockchain, shipment data will be stored publicly or pseudo-anonymously in a shared database. Now with blockchain, you can track the chronological history of any asset in transit during manufacturing and change of ownership. No one can tamper or cheat because everyone has the copy of the same data as it evolves in an append-only database. Gazelle and Comar have developed a solution to create trust and transparency in the supply chain trade finance using IoT integrated blockchain technology.
Okay, I just paused because I'm not in any way linked to that company. It was just the shortest video I could find. So as you can see, the power of blockchain technology is really so that we can validate, we can send information, we can trust what we're seeing. Because at the end of the day, when you ask the question, how does blockchain relate to higher education, supply chain, banking, etc.? Well, really, it is in the technology. Technology cannot be swayed. Technology does what technology is meant to do. And the Bank of Thailand is one of the banks that are already piloting using cryptocurrencies as an exchange because of the fraud with fiat currencies. And then the other reason why I'm very sure that blockchain is not all the hype is because in certain sectors, there are literally people dying because they're receiving fake goods. So meet Eloise Amy Parry is a 22-year-old UK lass who thought she was buying the latest diet pills online, and she thought it looked like a legitimate site. She literally burnt from the inside out because of one change in the strand. And this is happening more and more. So the pharmaceutical industry is really working hard to incorporate blockchain so that you know that if you are getting a script or a medication or a vitamin, that you are actually getting what you meant to for your own health benefits. From a procurement point of view, the old school ways of pay and procure, there's a reduction in that. But it also streamlines the payment process, it reduces the cost, it takes out the middleman. So what does that mean for the middleman or woman? They have to find different ways of making money. But this means that if you are buying something from anywhere in the world, that you can start paying less. In addition, the biggest value add to me and to the value chain is that you can reduce fraud significantly. It is very hard to tamper with a blockchain application. So if I looked at the case studies in terms of supply chain, pharmaceutical, and banking, there are lots of pilots in place. Massive IT companies such as HP and IBM and Microsoft and all of them are already integrating that into their technologies at some stage. But for me, what was really important is that the people part of it is becoming more and more central to blockchain technology. So giving you the control to look up and track something because you know that there's a very clever piece of tech behind it enables you to take control into your own hand as the end consumer. So a very, very important statistic that one must remember is that 7% of all global trade is counterfeit. So everyone in this room has in their lifetime purchased a counterfeit good online or in a store and you didn't know it. And 7% of global trade is a massive number that I can't even pronounce, but it's in the trillions. So this is not a very cheap problem to have, and that is why blockchain is very good to be incorporated in the supply chain so that we can address these kind of stats. So again, why does it matter? It matters because if you buy counterfeit goods that are not traceable through technology like blockchain, this can happen. This is a phone that exploded because of a fake battery that was put into a phone, and it really harmed a child. So we start looking at, my lineage has gone from online, websites, e-commerce, and then you realize, but you can't live in an isolated world, in an online world. You have to look at how it impacts the people that purchase your goods. So just to wrap up the question, and I'm being very quick, I realize, because it's 4:30 and it's time to go to dinner. How does blockchain relate to the higher education procurement question? And it really is the answer to things like digital ownership verification, proof of origin, trust, trust, trust. If people don't trust what you say or what you deliver, they won't buy from you. So it's very important that these kind of tools are used in a way that not only benefits the business, but the people that consume them. And so just to wrap up, again, my talk is really all about blockchain and what it is in a very simplified level and how that ties into the supply chain, and that it really is the technology of trust for the future. So thank you very much, and that's the end of my talk.